Thank you. Also, we just wanted to announce to the president, I think some of the speakers will talk about it, that the city of Philadelphia, from my, been brought to my attention, has banned the box in the city of Philadelphia. Let's give a hand on that. I think that's a great thing. We do have a bill on that here at the General Assembly. We don't know how far that'll get, but at least that's another place that understands. But we also have with us one of the champions, Senator Kennard. If you come at this time and just have a word, please, please, no, you're a champion. We need you to say a word here, then we'll turn it over to the other group.
Thank you, and I'm so pleased to have Representative Geis and Bordson and all of us here, and you all are the champions, because you've lived the life. You are the champions to come here and tell these folks what your lives mean in day-to-day, walk-the-walk terms, and how they can help, how we can help you. One of the main things we got to do is get an expunction bill through, and that will make a big difference in a lot of lives. We've got to get the justice reinvestment. We've got to get housing for folks who come out and have no place. We've got to get all sorts of services in place so that when a person comes out of prison, they know that the community is supporting them, and that's what we want to do. And it's true, we've got to get business to change, because when that screen comes up, and in this day and age, you don't even get to come in and talk with anybody. When that screen comes up, bingo, you're out of there. So we hope that Ban the Box will get through. We hope that we can provide you with the services that you need for employment, for housing, community support in any way that we can. So thank you all. I appreciate you putting this together.
I do want to recognize two of our colleagues who are not here, Representative Andrew Bryant and Mr. Marcus Brandon, because they truly were a lot of the ones who put this together. I'm quite sure they'll walk in before it's too late. But this time I'm going to turn it over to truly one of the champions, Mr. Dennis Gaddy, who has been working the last 7 years, from my understanding, on these issues. And he's been on the front line. He has his own personal story that he can share with you at a time that if you'd like to speak with him. But he will come now and share with us the ones, as she said, is walking the walk, going through what we're talking about. So this time I want to present to you Mr. Dennis Gaddy, who will carry out the rest of. Where's Brandon? Brandon, Dennis, let Brandon just say a word.
I'm sorry. I was actually talking with some folks that came from my district. But this is, thank you so much for everybody that came, and this is a really big day for the General Assembly and our first Second Chance Lobby Day. And I did contact the North Carolina Justice Center and asked them to help us put this together, because this actually affects folks in my district tremendously. When I started knocking on doors and I was talking to folks, it totally surprised me. And it took me off guard, actually, about the amount of people that would come and tell me that, or told me that they had a record or they had a felon, and then they couldn't get a job. And so this is to me what was a part of the cancer that I talk about in poor economic communities like I represent, is that if someone comes to you and says, "Hey Brandon, how can I get a job?" and then you understand that they have a record, and you know for a fact that most of those folks, that when they fill out an application, that application is automatically going to be moved to the no pile, just automatically. And that you know that their chances of being hired for any significant amount of job is very, very low. And there are programs across the state, sort of like Massachusetts, where people have a law. Massachusetts have a law where you don't have to check the criminal record box until the final interview. So when you're at least able to meet people and talk to people and see folks before you make that decision. So these are the type of I would like to see personally, and Representative Hare, I don't know if he's been here yet, but has a bill also that would show, if you have a nonviolent crime and 5 years, 6 years, whatever we can negotiate, and you have not become a repeat offender, that just comes off your record, because some folks just need hope. And if you get the door slammed in your face 100 times because of your record, what hope do you have for the next 5 to 10 years if you know that record is always going to be there. And so, and then people want to know why we have repeat offenders. And people want to know why today we were in finance and we're talking about the JPS budget, the judicial budget. And it's just totally funny how we have these conversations, but nobody ever wants to deal with the real issue. And you can raise revenue, decrease revenue, but the real thing is that how do you stop repeat offenders? And the best thing that you do that is that you deal with folks who want to have a second chance, and you be able to give them that opportunity. But more importantly, I'm very proud of the folks that came out here today. It makes my soul sing to see you here, so you can tell your story, to let everyone know that I'm not a felon, that I am not just a person that needs a second chance, but I'm also a father, and I'm also a mother, and I am an everyday citizen like anybody else that's trying to make a way and trying to eat like you try to eat. And I always tell everybody that you're going to eat one way or the other, and you can eat the right way, or you're going to eat the way you have to. And that's just the reality that we have. But my message to all of you is that on our campaign, we talked about your reality and your destiny. And your reality does not have to be your destiny. That we have all types of realities, and that by God's grace, we have been able to create new destinies. And I look forward for the opportunity to be able to serve and work with all of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Dennis Gaddy, currently serve as Executive Director of Community Success Initiative, a 7-year-old nonprofit now working with creating support systems and grassroots support around helping people who are coming out of incarceration to create support networks around them in the areas of jobs and housing and education and human services. Formerly incarcerated myself after some poor choices I made in the late 90s and early 2000s. And have had the good fortune to be able to be the leader of an organization that works in the area of helping people turn comebacks and out of setbacks. But this is a historic day for us. This is a historic day for us. 7 years ago, 2 people right in the room I want to thank right away, and that's John Parker from Good Work, the Executive Director of Good Work, a nonprofit organization that really allowed me to get my start in the nonprofit business and world, because I did my work release with Good Work, and John was my coach and boss at the time, and is now one of our partners with Good Work, and also Representative Pierce, who heard us 7 years ago when we asked him to create a reentry study committee and to maybe beat the drum at the legislature around this topic, and he promised that then and has kept his word around helping us to take this to another level. And today we're here. Having created bills out of the recommendations that we've had over the last 18 months, and now today to have the people who are behind those bills come down to the legislature and march the halls, and to be able to create their own stories and tell their own stories to the various legislatures. But with that being said, I want us to hear from the people who this is all about. Okay, we've got some very tight stories and some very tight comments from some people that we've asked to come and share the podium with us, and to share why this is an important piece of legislation collectively amongst the House and Senate bills that we've got out there. So first we're going to ask Mr. Sherwood Jackson to come. Behind him we're going to ask Lynn Burke. Behind him we're going to ask Daryl Atkinson. And in that order, if you can recall, Mr. Wayne Eaton will come behind him, and then we will have Dream Clean, which is an employment agency that will be able to help formerly incarcerated people. And then I'd like to close out with comments from Dr. William Barker from the NAACP. So if you would come in that order, that would be great. Sherwood Jackson.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Forgive me if I get a little choked up. 5 years ago, the Lord moved me here from Youngstown, Ohio. I was incarcerated for traveling through Louisiana with a kilo of cocaine. And the Lord saw fit just to give me 18 months where I should have served 10. And He had me do His work. So when I got out, they told me I couldn't do certain things. I didn't have a support group. And just to see all these people in the room like this supporting second chances, I'm a product of second chances. Well, I didn't have a support group, but I started one in Ohio. And I didn't understand why the Lord moved me down there 5 years ago to nothing, I thought, until I met this man right here. I heard about reentry, and I came running. Reentry is something that is very, very, very delicate. I mean, very delicate. It even starts in the prison system before you get out. The day I got out of prison and went to my parole office, a man I'd never seen before in my life walked to me and told me, "You think you're going back to Atlanta, but you ain't going nowhere." He didn't come visit me in prison, my parole officer did. I never seen this man before, but I was a praying man at that time, and I knew what to do. Went in that restroom and I prayed. When I came out of there, I was headed to Atlanta because I had a second chance. Someone in Atlanta had already gave me a paper, said I had a job. And from there, I had to go to Ohio to start a reentry program, and now I'm here to help Dennis Gaddy. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a grandfather, I'm employed for 9 years. I have helped people that have been formerly incarcerated get employment in my company, and people that have not been incarcerated get employment in my company. And I know what second chance is about. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time because there's other people that have greater stories than mine and had harder times than myself. But I'm going to always be out there on the battlefront for second chances for each and every individual in this world that the Lord crosses my path. Thank you very much.